But I wanted to get to a bigger point. Because the time comes, somewhat pun intended, for us to take the gloves off when it comes to Jake Paul.
Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet.
He's fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's an embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men.
Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back when addressing Jake Paul's recent fight choices, suggesting the matchups feel manufactured rather than competitive. He blasted Paul for repeatedly targeting opponents who are well past their prime, pointing directly to the scheduled bout with 58-year-old Mike Tyson as a prime example. Smith argued that such fights raise serious ethical concerns, calling them risky for the older fighters and little more than a money grab. In his view, Jake is relying on oversized paydays to draw aging legends back into the ring instead of seeking truly competitive challenges.
These are the kind of things that I'm talking about here. Boxing's a skill. Let me give y'all an example. Remember Francis Ngannou? Remember that monster? That Nigerian nightmare? Remember him? And then we saw him show up and show a little skill against Tyson Fury, who came there out of shape. What happened when he got into the ring with Anthony Joshua? He got put to sleep much in the same way Nate Robinson got put to sleep. Boxing is a skill. Jake Paul is a professional. He trains. At some point in time, I don't give a damn if it's a light heavyweight. Beterbiev, Bivol, a super middleweight, Canelo, Mexican monster, David Benavidez, somebody that actually has a reputation.
A storm of controversy broke out in the 7th round of Jake Paul's bout with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. when fans noticed something unusual online. Some platforms appeared to list Paul as a winner before the fight had even concluded. The premature display left many questioning the integrity of the event. Was it a simple error or something more troubling? For critics who already suspect Paul's fights of being orchestrated, this moment felt less like a glitch and more like evidence of outcomes being shaped long before the final bell.
As you are watching this video, Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez are currently right now in the 7th round of their fight. But when you go to Google and Google the fight, it gives an accurate breakdown of all their past fights. And then it comes to the current fight, and it says that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. loses a unanimous decision to Jake Paul in 2025. The fight has not even played out yet. Yet they're saying that this is the end results as they are fighting right now, currently as it stands. This leans testament to the fact that people state that Jake Paul has his fights fixed. What's your thoughts on this? This is nasty work. Unbelievable. This is Google. Google it yourself. Peace.
Many viewers struggle to understand Julio's lackluster showing against Jake Paul. For a fighter with his pedigree, his passivity was baffling. Round after round, he offered little offense, standing in place and rarely pressing the action. When he did begin throwing in the final rounds, it seemed more like a token effort than a serious attempt to win. Frustrated fans began calling Jake fake Paul, arguing that the bout felt less like a true contest and more like a stage performance.
Under 40 in 6 months, and he's been off the El Chapitos. He's been off the El Mayo Zambada up his nose. So he's probably more like 48 adjusted. A 48-year-old man. Okay? There's numerous angles here, right? Was he paid not to throw punches? That's possible. Is he just 48 in La Coca years? That's also possible. What we know for a fact is, fake Paul's useless, honestly. He's proper useless. Chavez like this, just standing there. No pace. In the last few rounds he had a little bit of pace. Even then, fake Paul just clings on though. Fake Paul's, I've been saying this, fake Paul's got no inside at all. He's got no stand and let's have a look. Let's work here. If he's coming at me. He clings on for dear life. He kind of pushes his punches out. Slap, slap, slap. Nope. All this talk of power. These dudes. Chavez actually, he looked a bit smaller than fake Paul. Fake Paul's not a cruiserweight. He's a light heavyweight, honestly. He's so soft. He's got like these big rubber dingy arms. Big rubber, soft. Not Chavez looked more like an athlete. But that'll be on, well, is Jake Paul going to fight anyone? They're already walking back the Zurdo situation. Oh, Zurdo don't sell. Well, we knew Zurdo didn't sell.
Social media exploded after the fight, with fans openly questioning its legitimacy. Many argued that something felt off, pointing to Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as lack of offense is suspicious. One frustrated viewer tweeted, "This looked rigged. No way a real boxer stands still for 8 rounds barely throwing, then suddenly looks fresh in the last 2. He was clearly told to play along." Such reactions highlight a growing frustration in the sport. Matches involving internet celebrities like Jake Paul often lean more towards spectacle than competition. While the novelty of influencers stepping into the ring continue to attract massive attention, purists argue it comes at the expense of true boxing credibility. Big names like Chavez Jr. bring expectations of a real contest, not a scripted show. Still, the controversy itself only seems to fuel the hype, ensuring that these crossover events remain in the spotlight.
You felt like boxing's pretty rigged overall.
Yes, Rick, dude. I mean, so many politics, even with, MMA, man, there's so many politics. There's no more art anymore. It's just, let's get an influencer in there. I get it. It's like generating money because our attention span is so short. You look at clips now, it's like 7 seconds. I saw a dude slamming a lady the other day and they were like, oh my God, that dude is, I'm like, well, what the do? I'm just gonna pick somebody and slam him. Where's the whole video? And our attention span is just so small. So money talks, of course. Yeah, let's get an influencer in there who has no style, but it draws attention. It's just dumb to me.
Another theory making the rounds is less about rigging and more about money. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. has shockingly low output. Just 13 punches in the entire fight left many fans convinced that he didn't even prepare seriously. To them, this wasn't a fix. It was simply an easy payday. Critics have gone further, saying Julio's father should have stepped in to protect the Chavez name from what they call a public embarrassment. By accepting the bout in that condition, many feel Chavez Jr. traded family pride for a quick check.
Results, a couple of shocking results. I think that Jake Paul undercards and the promotional arm of his brand, I think, is the most fun part of what Jake Paul brings to boxing. Honestly, I think long term, I think that's what we can all hope for. Because Jake's fights are, this one was borderline atrocious, and kind of the writing was on the wall, but I gotta admit, even I bought drank the Kool-Aid, and mainly I drank the Kool-Aid because Chavez Sr., who also is disgraceful for doing this, made me believe, and I think, this has been the problem with Chavez Jr. He's been enabled constantly by the media, the promoters, his family, and all this other stuff. So he never really shows up prepared. He never cares and just shows up to get paid and basically steals the bag every single time. And he did it tonight again. The reason I actually thought this fight had a chance was because Chavez Sr. Guaranteed us that his son was motivated and was having a training camp. So as much of a Hall of Fame career as the father had, he's the con artist, I guess, must run in the family, because Junior's been a con artist his whole career, but at least he's been enabled through it, But now the father doing this, I mean, you knew already your son wasn't going to be ready. You put your own reputation on the line and sold us this crap. And then ultimately your son throws what most guys will throw in a round. He throws it through 10 rounds. It was actually kind of really insane.
Jake Paul has fired back hard at the rumors, especially with all eyes on his upcoming clash with Mike Tyson. He calls the accusations baseless, nothing more than jealousy or fear of his rise. According to Jake, every time he lands a big fight, people cry rigged to discredit him, but fans aren't convinced. With most of his opponents being retired legends or inactive fighters, the pattern is hard to ignore. And with Tyson at 58 years old, the scrutiny has only intensified. For many, this isn't just another fight. It's the most controversial matchup of Jake's career.
After I beat Mike Tyson, the amount of people saying this is rigged was crazy. They showed this clip of Mike Tyson going to swing at me with a left hook, and he stopped doing it, but saw I had my right hand up. So he would have swung like this, I catch it and shoot. He's leaning forward I could have knocked him out. So that's why he stopped throwing it. And it's they play this one clip and it has literally 50 million views on TikTok, but the average person doesn't understand boxing.
Boxing coach and former Olympian Tony Jeffries also weighed in, saying fans are often too quick to dismiss Jake Paul's victories. He admitted that most of Jake's opponents have been older fighters or those past their prime, but argued that doesn't automatically make the result staged. Jeffries wasn't exactly praising Jake's skill level. Rather, he was questioning the rush to label every fight as rigged. In his view, not every questionable matchup equals a fixed outcome.
You might be raging and saying, but he's fixing the fights. It's not fair. It's the embarrassment on boxing. He shouldn't be doing this. It's so embarrassing. He's fighting old men. Well, is it a fix? No, mate. It's not a fix. Is Julio Cesar Chavez past his best? Yes. Was Mike Tyson past his best? Absolutely, mate. Now, if you look at all of the great fighters, look at all of the records, and you can go on BoxRec and see this, you'll see that they are fighting either one of two people. Either a person who's a journeyman, who's coming in there just to lose and give the fighter their experience, or they'll be fighting someone who might have been a former champion who is now past it. And finding these right opponents is key for the development of any fighter, not just someone like Jake Paul, but any fighter. Now, with Jake, because he's got so much attention on him, people are seeing this. Whereas normally, fighters are not even live on TV until they've had X amount of fights. If you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, look what we fought in his 4th pro fight, or even his 10th pro fight. Some of these fights will not be on TV. And now Jake is on TV and he's fighting former world champions, which he's fought a few now. I think everyone should give him respect now as a fighter, fighting someone like that and putting so much pressure on himself as well. Now, do I think that fight and other fights was rigged? Absolutely not. I think that Jake is very smart. He's picking the right fights, but at the same time, he's developed as a very good fighter now. There's no denying that he is a very good fighter now. Yes, he did lose that one fight to Tommy Fury by, was it a split decision?
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., despite heavy criticism, continues to claim that his career isn't over. He dismissed the loss as a minor setback, but many fans remain unconvinced. Throwing so few punches left people questioning whether he still belongs in the sport. His remarks after the bout didn't help his case either, as they came across as unconvincing and half-hearted. To critics, it felt like he was dodging responsibility, and his lackluster showing risked setting a poor example for the younger generation of fighters who once admired him.
Well, what was difficult to do in the fight tonight that you wanted to do, but you couldn't?
Our confidence, first round, and come forward. I think when I'm like back, it's not good for me. So if I'm fighting again, like I doing this. So take the punches, but come forward and try to be more inside, because when I see him inside, his punches don't have the same power. So I think I doing a mistake in these things, like a distance.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna ask. I kept asking myself, why isn't he working on the inside, throwing body shots, hook, upper, you know?
Yes. So maybe more fights, a little more confidence. I need more confidence.
Jake Paul's clash with Chavez Jr. isn't the first time his fights have been accused of feeling staged. Over time, a pattern has emerged. Paul often faces opponents past their prime, securing winnable bouts that still generate massive publicity. This strategy keeps the spotlight on him, but it also fuels ongoing doubts about the legitimacy of his career. The upcoming Tyson showdown has only heightened the criticism, with many dismissing it as little more than a marketing stunt. While Jake has perfected the formula for grabbing headlines, the trade-off is a constant struggle for credibility in the eyes of true boxing fans.
More important and quite serious news in the combat sports world. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul, it's come out now. It was rigged. I can't believe it. You know, you have to question the validity of boxing these days when you can't trust two professionals to get in the ring and do their best against each other. And instead you find out Mike Tyson pulling his punches, not trying to hurt Jake Paul. Absolute disgrace. I thought better of them.
The controversy surrounding Jake Paul's fight with Mike Tyson has been fueled by unsettling rumors. Some claim that so-called scripts outline how the bout should unfold, everything from when punches were thrown to staged-looking exchanges. On top of that, whispers about contractual clauses suggested Tyson might even face financial penalties if he ended the fight too quickly. If those claims hold weight, it paints a picture of a contest engineered to protect Jake, ensuring he walked away both unharmed and marketable.
Y'all already know I'm mad about this fight. I really wasn't even going to talk about it because I already felt like it was a setup. But when Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, it really just confirmed and solidified everything. So, Trick Daddy Dollars posted this on Instagram, and I'm going to read it to social media. So, it says the rules for the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight are designed to favor Jake Paul. These include: the rules are extremely favorable to Jake Paul. The contract will incentivize Mike Tyson to lose and give Jake Paul an opportunity to choose himself as a winner. The first stipulation in the contract will punish Tyson for knocking out Jake because he is paid on a sliding scale per round. If Tyson knocks Jake out in the first round, he would receive no money. If he knocks him out in the second round, he would only make a small amount of cash. For Tyson to make the most money, he needs to survive all 8 rounds, which means avoiding knocking Jake Paul out. If the fight goes to a split decision, it favors Jake Paul because the judges have to be approved by Jake Paul. I'm gonna let y'all read that.
This type of allegation has become almost synonymous with Jake Paul's career. Many fans suspect that he not only pays his opponents to show up, but also to ensure they don't overshadow him in the ring. These concerns aren't just idle speculation. They are based on recurring patterns, like extremely low punch output, no knockdowns, and unusual fight conclusions. Following his victory over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Jake even climbed into the top 15 of the cruiserweight rankings, a leap that surprised many given the minimal resistance he faced. For critics, it felt less like a legitimate boxing accomplishment and more like a calculated publicity win.
Then you want us to respect Jake Paul as a fighter, but how you want me to respect this man as a boxer and he basically pays his opponents to lose? The culture didn't want to see that. All the 80s babies and people born in earlier time did not want to see that fight. And I think if I knew these rules, which I believe these rules make a lot of sense to why Mike Tyson really didn't fuck him up. And it's like, why do you think people want to continue to watch a Jake Paul fight when every time it's going to always be in his favor because people are paid to lose? Nah, respectfully, that's not real boxing. That's not real fighting. I'm sorry. And I know for Tyson, he's retired anyway. He's still the champ. This fight didn't mean anything, but it meant everything for Mike Tyson fans. And I'm just like, I'm disappointed. And I wasn't even going to come on social media. But like I said, once I saw Trick Daddy post that, I was like...
Observers have noted that Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.'s body language and minimal effort in the fight seemed unusual. Of the 13 punches he threw, many appeared soft, delayed, or unfocused, more like acting than competing. Odd moments, like glove biting, only added to the suspicions. These moments made the bout feel less like a spontaneous sporting contest and more like a pre-planned performance, yet not everyone sees it that way. Some fans argue that Jake Paul's skills and achievements in the ring speak for themselves. Critics may try to downplay his success, but others, like analyst Adam Smith, recognize Jake's journey as groundbreaking. From YouTube personality to headline boxer, his rise has been anything but conventional. Controversy may follow him, but his ability to capture attention and dominate boxing conversations is undeniable. Jake has essentially built a brand around himself, blending athletic performance with entertainment and business savvy. Whether people view him as a legitimate fighter or a clever marketer, there's no denying that Jake Paul has carved out a permanent place in the era of crossover boxing.
I mean, if he does, it's going to be one of the great stories of this generation, isn't it? They start off as YouTubers, as influencers. I love working with Logan Paul and KSI when we did that fight together. It was the sort of start of it. My kids love what they've done, the whole Misfits thing. Look, yeah, I love it. I mean, I'm a hardcore boxing fan, and that European title fight doesn't get any better. But Jake Paul has millions and millions of followers.
That wraps up today's breakdown. Be sure to stay tuned for more fight analysis, expert insights, and all the latest updates from the world of boxing.